Live from Cleveland 19 News, this is the Sports Extra.
3 weeks ago, the Buffalo Bills made big news naming Kathryn Smith their new special teams quality control coach, the first full-time female coach in the NFL. Now, a lot of people had an immediate reaction to that, none more controversial than Kevin Kiley of the Kiley and Carmen Show on 92.3 The Fan.
I'm sure if I'm running 100 miles an hour under a kickoff and miss a tackle, I'm going to want to hear from Kathryn how I could have done it better. That's exactly what I want to hear.
What's her resume?
What resume? Did it include shoulder pads? I mean, come on. What are we talking about?
What do you mean, did it include shoulder pads? There's guys who coach who didn't play at a high level.
We've been through this 1,000 times.
No, we haven't. Not you and me.
No place for a woman in professional sports, in football, coaching men. Men will not take to it.
All right, Kevin Kiley joining us tonight. Great to see you.
Who said that?
As always.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I didn't. That was a few weeks ago. I'm glad to have you back on. It's been a long time.
Good to be here.
Ask you to come on to reignite this debate, okay? But you get crushed nationally on this, and I haven't heard you talk much about it.
No, I haven't been able to. I haven't been allowed to talk about it. I've been censored. I've been censored.
You've been censored.
I've been censored for the first time in my career of over 30 years nationally and all that. I have been told I can't do it at the threat of my job. I was handed a written edict from CBS that if I did anything similar to, they never mentioned what exactly I had done on the air that offended anybody, but they threatened my job twice in the letter, and they said I couldn't do it. Not that, and that's not the reason that I didn't speak about it. I didn't speak about it because I'm a company guy. I mean, I'm a loyal employee, and it was a new experience for me. And but I have every day since then, virtually, I have more vehemently asked to defend myself. And as these things have built, as Mike Florio wrote a national piece about this, and basically said I did it to get attention. Mary Kay Cabot, locally, was on a Super Bowl broadcast. She was on CBS Radio, which is the company I work for and you work for, and that led into the show, my show in the morning. And she called for me to be fired and disciplined and that type of thing. And then Elizabeth McIntyre from Crane's Business Something, to name three, took a shot at me, compared me to Donald Trump and him calling Megyn Kelly a bimbo. So I was thrown into that category. And after each incident, I went to CBS, to the people I work for, and I said, look, let me respond to this. First of all, they misinterpreted a lot of this. I had some fun with it. You heard part of it, but there was also a part there where I made it very clear that I respected women and that I felt like a woman president is fine with me, a woman CEO is fine with me. I do think that there is no place at this time that men will not accept a woman as a position coach.
As an on-the-field coach.
Yeah, as a football coach, and they tried to sell it. My objection to it is that they tried to sell it as a coach. They tried to sell it as she's the first female full-time. And the objection I had was that men are not going to accept it, and you're setting her up to fail. And so that was my objection to it, and a lot of people supported that point of view too. And then a lot of people took the low-hanging fruit and wrote and took a shot at me.
But because everybody reacts so strongly to everything, I just want to ask you, getting back to, you say you're being censored. First of all, as a radio host, you're paid for your opinions.
Yeah.
This is baffling to me.
Yeah,
your
me
show,
too.
by the way, first with Chuck, now with Ken, is based on, I don't want to say igniting the audience, but certainly you have ignited because you have opinions you stick to, and it generates conversation. I don't understand why they would cut that off at the knees.
I've had this conversation any number of times with them, and I don't understand either. They have no answer for this. In my opinion, I've not been given an answer. And my integrity, we begin the show with, I want the truth. And that's very important to me. And anybody that listens to the show realizes that I say over and over again, you're going to get the truth on this show. And when I cannot say what I think and I can't address a topic the way I want to address it, then we're lying to you at the top of the show when you say you want the truth. You're not getting the truth. You haven't gotten the truth since this happened. I wanted to reply to these people. They have a right, first of all, to criticize me. I don't have a problem with that. You criticize me all you want. That's the nature of it.
I got to take a break. Stay here. Right. I want to know where you go from here. We'll be right back. All right, back here with Kevin Kiley from 92.3 The Fan. Where do you go from here?
I go away. I go away. In early November, I resigned at WKRK. Effective the end of this month, I sent them a letter in early November, and really for reasons that were unrelated to this. And my principles, their principles of doing business, they just don't match. And it was tough for me to work there. So I have resigned, and I'll be ending, I think, at the end of the month, maybe at the end of this show. We'll find out.
I want to hear you.
We'll find out about this. But there's a bigger issue here. Let me get to this issue here. Look, throughout the history of radio and broadcasting, from Orson Welles to Howard Stern, people have stood up for the right to say and the right to argue and the right to make points. And the people have lost their jobs and opportunities, and they've been chastised for that, and they've sacrificed. And throughout the history of broadcasting, you have these people. And I have no right to accept censorship. I've never been censored. In 35 years, I've never been censored, and I shouldn't have been censored for this. And I have no right to accept censorship based on what the history of broadcasting is. And nor should you accept censorship ever. You should make sure that the people that are on the radio are telling you the truth as they see it. Now, you can argue with them and you can disagree with them, but don't let the program director, don't let the general manager, don't let some clown in New York tell them what to say, and then you think it's their opinion or what not to say. That's what happened here, and I'm not accepting it. So demand the truth. We'll see how they feel about the truth. Trust me, if I'm on the air tomorrow morning or not, you'll know whether they appreciate the truth.
Good luck, bud.
All right.
Thanks
man.
out.
Thank you.
All right, bud. Thanks.
You've been watching The Sports Extra.